So now let me introduce our co-hosts helping kick off the event. We have Luiz Beling, the CEO of Apeel Sciences, and Jamil Ahmed, the director of the New York office for the UN Environment Program. Give them a round of applause. Gentlemen, I'm so glad you could be with us today. Thank you for your partnership and collaboration. It's been a pleasure. I'm wondering if we can start off by talking about the growing awareness of the link between food and climate. What does the attention that food waste is receiving at Climate Week mean to you?
Yeah, I can start. It's just a pleasure to be here, actually. And if you think about, you can't really talk about climate change without talking about food waste, right? And what it really means. If you think about the effort to grow a crop, and I've spent 25 years of my life in agriculture, to grow a crop from the farm and to get that crop into our table takes a lot of effort, a lot of investment. And to see, a third go to waste, or to see 50%, if you talk about fresh produce, goes to waste, you cannot talk about climate change and its impact on, greenhouse emissions without really tackling one of the biggest problems with food waste. So it means a lot to us, and it means a lot to the work that Apeel is doing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning to all of you. I think, just as my colleague has mentioned, we cannot look at it in isolation. And if you look at the Sustainable Development Agenda and the SDGs, they are all linked. So climate change is at the center of many problems that we face today. And food waste is directly linked to it because we are water stressed. Many countries today are water stressed, and a lot of water goes into agriculture and food production. Then you just talked about people who go hungry. And then again, after COVID and the pandemic, we have seen a rise in poverty throughout the world. On the one hand, we have enough food. On the other hand, we are wasting it.
Right.
And there are hungry people in millions. So it's all a very complicated but very interlinked problem, linked to pesticides, linked to biodiversity loss, linked to water stress, and of course, waste is an issue in itself,
Sure.
whether that is food waste or any other waste.
Absolutely.
And I cannot stop by mentioning plastic waste, which is closely related to agriculture sector now, especially we use a lot of plastic in agriculture.
We're going to talk about that later today, too. So we're less than 2 months away from the climate change conference, COP30, in Brazil. What is top of mind when we're talking about food loss and food waste for you both? What do you want people to know going into COP, and what do you want them to take out of it? What kind of actions should they take out of it?
Yeah, I'll start with just, I think talking about the problem, it's one step, but I think really talking about what technologies are available to solve some of the problems is what I'm really looking forward to. So if you think about it, there's a lot of technologies, and we're going to hear a lot about them actually this week here, that are actually being deployed at large scale to tackle some of the problems. Right. So getting into some of the solutions and the partnership across, the private sector, the public sector, NGOs and multiple stakeholders to tackle this problem is what I'm excited about.
That's great.
Right, so the COP30 meeting this year later in Belém in Brazil is been dubbed as the COP of implementation. We have had so many COPs. Every year we have a COP and each has a focus. This one will focus on how we can implement the plans and the policies that countries have developed. And for that purpose, the nationally determined contribution, or the NDCs as they are called, are the plans of each government that are parties to the Paris Convention, to explain and to lay out a framework for implementing those policies. We will look to how countries co-opt and integrate agriculture and food into the nationally determined contributions, because it has to be a whole of society approach. You cannot say that we have to mitigate this sector and we have to adopt that sector. We have to bring agriculture, we have to bring farming, we have to bring livestock. All these issues which are related will have to be part of the NDCs, and that is what the Secretary General is also trying to do. He has convened a high-level meeting on the 24th, where he's going to try to impress upon the leaders of the world to work together for the climate action as a whole, but also for making the NDCs more comprehensive and more ambitious.
Absolutely. That whole of society approach that you mentioned, the private sector has to be a huge part of that, especially when we're lacking leadership in other sectors, especially here in the United States at the federal level. I wonder if you can both talk about what that means. You know, the private sector is really stepping up with Apeel and so many other companies taking on innovation.
Yeah, if you think about the investments are necessary, right? So the both private and public. But if you think about just using Apeel as an example, if you today, in order to treat, a crop after it's been harvested, we rely a lot about, refrigeration, synthetic pesticides, synthetic waxes, and even single-use plastic. And Apeel actually was able to develop a plant-based coating that uses ingredients naturally found in the fruit itself, in the peels, in the seeds, and the pulps of the food, extract those and then put it back into the fruits and vegetables to give that extra protection. And by doing that, we were able to extend several days, if not weeks, on some produce, which gives the entire supply chain a lot more time to be able to commercialize and reduce food waste. So investments like that is very important to sustainability. And if you think about it, we produce enough food. There's a lot of discussion about more production. I think if we actually focus on reducing the waste, we don't have to actually explore the earth as much to try to get that extra production. We can use what's already being produced, and I think that's what the private sector can do.
Sure. Jamil, how does UNEP work with the private sector?
Well, we have, first let me just say the private sector has a very important role in all the work that the UN does at every level and in every field. In UNEP also, we take private sector in partnerships in many of our areas of work, whether that is chemicals, whether that is biodiversity, and all other work that we do, including the outreach and advocacy. So we value them as a good partners, and we take a broader approach to participating and partnering with private sector in all areas of our work.
That's great. In this final minute we have left, you each have 30 seconds to give this audience a call to action. Luiz.
Yeah, get engaged, right? And I think most importantly, really help think about the technologies that are available and how they can actually be deployed. Because I think get engaged, talk about the problem, but most importantly, share some of the solutions and participate in being part of those solutions, I think is really important. I want you to really take pride. This week is a very important week because I think we spend time talking about how do we solve those problems with the technology, not just about the product itself. So get engaged.
Great. Jamil.
Yes, so I agree with him 100%, but I say that every week is important because not only this one, the week coming up is more important. We are losing time, we are short of time, we don't have time to wait and see what we can do. We have to do it now and here. And for that, one of the big problems is that we are becoming a wasteful society. We are becoming wasteful as individuals, as corporations, as organizations, and as a society. We have to see how we can change our behavior by doing more with less and by trying to think of those who don't have anything.
Absolutely. Every week matters. Please give our panelists a round of applause. Thank you for being incredible partners. Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle.